Headline News will return in 5 minutes. Now time for a local edition of Headline News.
Headline News takes you around the world with news, business, and sports. Now Cox Cable brings you home with Headline News Local Edition.
Today is the first anniversary of a bill designed to take the guns out of the criminals' hands. Good evening and welcome to Headline News for Horry County. I'm Dan Michaels. Local gun dealers say that sales of handguns have skyrocketed over the past year, thanks in part to the Brady bill. Today marks the one-year anniversary of the bill, which requires a 5-day waiting period and a background check before one can purchase a handgun. President Clinton is expected to release a report tonight which documents some 15,000 people who were rejected after applying for handguns. The White House says most of those turned down had criminal records, but some dealers say the bill is not a success. Ted Gregg owns a gun shop in Myrtle Beach.
As far as to whether or not it works in keeping the firearms out of the hands of felons, I doubt it. We've had 2 that were denied in a year, so that's a pretty good indication that the majority of the customers in a firearms-related business are not felons.
Law enforcement agencies across the Grand Strand have noticed a slight change in the confiscation of handguns, but say the impact of the bill will not be apparent until summertime. Lieutenant Jay Holder of the Myrtle Beach Police Department.
You can see a slight difference, not a lot. I mean, it's only a year since it's been passed, but I believe that the people that are carrying the guns, we used to confiscate quite a bit. We're still confiscating quite a bit, but I can see a little change in it. It's not as much right now. I think the real time will be this summer.
The game of golf already brings recreation for thousands of visitors and residents along the Grand Strand, but now it will bring a whole lot more. The Golf Magazine Senior Tour Championship of 1994 guaranteed $200,000 to local charities last year, and today it delivered those funds. The charity board this afternoon announced that 6 recipients in Horry County will receive funds to help fuel the efforts of charities in the area. Carl Tellison is with the Disabled American Veterans, who received some $3,000 from the event.
Well, it keeps our presence very alive, particularly around here in Horry County, because we do benefit from United Way of Horry County also for our program, and that's why I feel like we must be doing something right, because if you're not a recipient of any funds around here, and I feel very strongly about that, and we're just pleased and tickled that we were part of it.
Other recipients included in this year's benefit are the United Way of Horry County, the Play Card Environmental Education Center, the Horry Georgetown Technical College Foundation, the Children's Museum of South Carolina, and the Hook a Kid on Golf program. Elizabeth Till is on the tour's charity board.
We wanted to make a significant difference. It was not our intention to give small $500 contributions that could not make a significant difference to those organizations, and we think we've done that today.
The 6 beneficiaries chosen today were among 50 applicants who applied for the funds. PGA Tour benefits nationwide total more than $30 million. Well, employers along the Grand Strand are preparing for what they hope will be a successful summer business season this year. This afternoon, dozens of business owners lined the Myrtle Beach Convention Center for a Chamber of Commerce event known as Table Topics. The idea is for local businesses to network their goods and services to others. Chamber officials say a newly released study by the University of South Carolina, which said the state's economy slipped late last year, should not be of much concern to local businesses in Myrtle Beach. Angel Franz works for the Chamber of Commerce.
This is a great way to kind of kick off the new year, although we are right into end of February. It does allow us a certain, kind of kickoff or a platform where we can just go ahead and jump into spring, because we are getting into a very, very busy season.
Each year, Grand Strand businesses see about 14 million visitors. The Chamber says this helps not only employers, but also those looking for jobs during the busy season.
Spring breakers try to mix a little business with pleasure. They come down to enjoy the sun and fun, but they also try to land those summer jobs because they know they want to come back here and work for the summer.
As we leave you with the weather forecast for tonight and tomorrow afternoon, we'll leave you with some scenes of how Myrtle Beach looked this afternoon. Weather for the beaches tonight will continue to be wet. For tonight and tomorrow, expect occasional showers and thunderstorms. Lows will be in the low 60s, highs will be in the mid-60s. Chance of rain is nearly 100%. For Headline News, I'm Dan Michaels. Richard Green returns tomorrow. Good evening.
This has been a presentation of Cox Cable.
Headline News will return in 5 minutes. Now time for a local edition Headline News.
Headline News takes you around the world with news, business, and sports. Now Cox Cable brings you home with Headline News Local Edition.
No more cruising along Ocean Boulevard, and some business owners are upset. Good evening and welcome to Headline News Local Edition. I'm Dan Michaels. Richard Green is on assignment. Well, those accustomed to the age-old tradition of cruising Ocean Boulevard until the early morning hours may be in for a shock this year. The Myrtle Beach City Council has elected 4 votes to 3 in favor of a ban that eliminates so-called cruising between the hours of 2 a.m. and 6 a.m. over the busy tourist season along the boulevard. Many business owners expressed their disagreement with the decision.
I see no good coming from this. If we do not arrest the problems wherever they may be, whoever they may be, and whatever they may be doing, the people who break the law need to be arrested immediately. It's not something that we can do to a certain group of people and not do to another group of people. If you break the law in Myrtle Beach, you need to go to jail. You don't need to be put in jail for cruising Ocean Boulevard and minding your own business.
The ordinance comes as a result of apparent complaints that visitors to the downtown Myrtle Beach area cannot sleep at night because of noise. Some business owners on Ocean Boulevard were present when the ban was passed, and although a few were in favor of the ban, most expressed dismay with their elected officials.
I've been on the boulevard for 49 years of my life, so I'm very experienced in the boulevard, and I policed on the boulevard, so I really know what's necessary down there. No, I think the ones that supported the ban are just following the money rather than doing what they know is right.
Meanwhile, spokesmen for the city say a ban from 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. will only scare off those who are only out to harm others anyway. In favor of the ban were council members Judy Rodman, Harry Charles, John Maxwell, and Mark McBride. Those fighting the ban were Mayor Bob Grissom, Councilman Crane Woods, and Wilson Kane. In another city matter, Council has agreed to endorse a joint development plan by the Grand Strand Housing Authority in an effort to bring elderly housing to Futrell Park. You'll remember a few months ago, new houses were built in Futrell Park off of 10th Avenue in an effort to provide housing for low-income families. Now the city hopes a new plan will turn an old school into a new home for older citizens as well.
We've been involved in the development of Futrell Park already as the nonprofit group, and we've wanted to do something with the schoolhouse. We discovered Douglas Company has an excellent reputation for doing this sort of thing, and Mr. Douglas has entered it.
Organizers say turning the old building into renovated housing for the elderly would take 2 to 3 years and cost an estimated $1.5 million. Many say that doing so would not only help improve the look of 10th Avenue, but would help hundreds of elderly people in the years to come.
Myrtle Beach has more than enough people who are truly in need of adequate housing, and this is especially true with our elderly. There's just not enough good housing that they can afford available to them.
Well, tomorrow is National Holocaust Remembrance Day, and in honor of that event, some children along the Grand Strand are getting a lesson in history. Students at Myrtle Beach Elementary School teamed up with their peers at the Shabbat Academy in Myrtle Beach to present a play entitled The Terrible Things. The play is an effort to educate students about the Holocaust, which took place some 50 years ago.
Well, we've seen a lot of children care about what happened in World War II to the Holocaust victims, the 6 million Jews, the 3 million other ones, and they were touched, and they do care. And they said that they don't ever want the Holocaust or anything like it to happen again.
Participants in the play say the show teaches that it's wrong to condemn others just because their beliefs might be different, and to stand up for what you know is right, even if it becomes difficult.
I think this play brings that you have no right to take someone just because they're different. Everybody's human, everybody's different. It doesn't give anybody a right to take them away.
National Holocaust Remembrance Day is tomorrow. Taking a look at your Grand Strand weather, what a gorgeous day today. And tonight is expected to be fair with the lows in the lower 50s, and light winds are expected to give us a little bit of a chill later on this evening. Tomorrow will be partly cloudy with a high around 70 degrees, and Friday is also shaping up to be partly cloudy with lows around 60 and the high expected to reach 82 degrees Friday afternoon. Join us tomorrow evening for another edition of Headline News. Good evening.
This has been a presentation of Cox Cable. Headline News takes you around the world with news, business, and sports. Now, Cox Cable brings you home with Headline News Local Edition.
It's time for cleanup at the former Myrtle Beach Air Force Base. Good evening and welcome to Headline News Local Edition. I'm Dan Michaels. Richard Green is on assignment. An organization formed to act as mediator between the public and government agencies hopes to soon tie all loose ends regarding environmental cleanup on the former Air Force Base.
I was very surprised at the quality of local community people who came and volunteered their time to do this for absolutely only one reason, and that is because they care about what's going on. They've been involved with environmental issues in the past, and they saw an opportunity to help and to make a difference.
Organizers of the Restoration Advisory Board, or the RAB, say in order to acquire the maximum economical potential that the base land offers, government agencies must cooperate and act accordingly regarding base cleanup. The organization says its bottom line is to serve the best interest of the Myrtle Beach community.
For the base and the community, that's correct. I think the sooner we can do this cleanup and the sooner we can transfer the property, the better it's going to be for the overall community.
What will happen eventually is that we'll be able to turn every bit of it over to private business that can turn this air base into something that'll be good for the community, that'll provide jobs and an opportunity for people to use what the Air Force built here.
The advisory board says plans for a proposed theme park there should remain on schedule for opening within 2 to 3 years. Wiping out teen pregnancy was the subject of a seminar held earlier this afternoon at Horry Georgetown Technical College. The Great to Wait Adolescent Pregnancy Prevention Program is designed to help reduce or eliminate teen pregnancies in Horry County and surrounding communities. The program, created by Conway Hospital, the Family Support Services of Horry County, and the Loris Community Hospital, has been supported by Governor David Beasley and First Lady Mary Wood Beasley.
Well, we want them to leave with it's great to wait, and that is in teenagers, sex will always be there, and it doesn't have to be in their teenage years. It's great to wait until they're married and until they're ready to have children. That's what we're advocating.
Program supporters hope the Great to Wait campaign will spread not only throughout the state of South Carolina, but around the nation as well. On hand for the seminar this afternoon was Tara McClary, Personal Secretary for First Lady Mary Wood Beasley.
And Mary Wood and I truly do want to give students and young people standards to live up to. I think in our society we've given them enough standards to live down to, and it's time to reverse that trend. And abstinence is an issue that is on our platform for putting families first. Both the governor and First Lady believe that we have to truly set our standards and predetermine what our decisions are going to be.
Those wishing to obtain more information about the Great to Wait program should call the Conway Hospital at 347-8108. Well, the early stages of budget talks are underway for the city of Myrtle Beach. Early this morning, city council members met with budget officers to discuss plans for the next fiscal year. While no solid decisions are being made in the first few meetings, Budget Director Mike Shelton says it's important for the city to make proper observations in the early stages of the talks.
Right now what we're doing is just talking with council about what our major goals and objectives are for the new budget and how the proposed budgets from the departments fit those goals and objectives.
Topping the list of budget discussions this year are a beach nourishment project, public services, the Myrtle Beach Convention Center, and the Miniature Golf Course Fund.
In the Golf Course Fund, we've got to look at some ways of either producing additional operating income or trimming some of the operations and maintenance expenses in order to build.
Another beautiful day for all of us here along the Grand Strand. Now let's take a look at our upcoming weather over the next day or two. Well, it's going to be partly cloudy this evening with a 20% chance of showers. Lows are going to be about the mid-50s with a southwesterly wind 5 to 10 miles per hour. Friday is going to also be partly cloudy with a 20% chance of showers. High is going to be about the upper 70s inland to the beaches. And Saturday is going to be partly cloudy as well with a low around 54 and a high around 78 degrees. Join us tomorrow evening for more headline news. Good evening.
This has been a presentation of Cox Cable.
Headline News will return in 5 minutes. Now time for local edition headline news.
Headline News takes you around the world with news, business, and sports. Now Cox Cable brings you home with Headline News Local Edition.
The solution to Grand Strand road problems may soon be near. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Headline News Local Edition. I'm Dan Michaels. Richard Green is on assignment. The decision to build the Conway bypass in a reasonably short amount of time may soon be left up to Horry County voters. The state Senate has passed the second reading of a local option sales tax for Horry County, and all that's required now is a passing of the third reading and the governor's signature. The proposed plan would add 1% to retail sales tax in the county, but would also help to build much-needed roads faster than without the tax.
Well, I think it's an outstanding opportunity for Horry, or at least for Horry County residents to be faced with an opportunity to actually take into their own hands or decide for themselves whether or not they want to construct highways in Horry County in a much faster manner than they'd be able to under traditional methods.
Local leaders say the biggest impact that the sales tax could have on roads locally would be the Conway bypass. Officials say it's conceivable that the bypass could be built in 3 to 5 years as opposed to a projected 25 years.
Then, of course, combined with that, the county proposed hospitality tax would also take in a lot of the smaller projects in Horry County and would really set us well for the next century in terms of total economic development, not just tourism, but all sorts of economic development, including, with better roads, the attraction of new industries and lots of other alternate employment type opportunities for the citizens of the county.
Tourists account for 70% of the retail sales in the Myrtle Beach area, meaning most of the road costs would be paid by visitors to the Grand Strand. Well, Myrtle Beach is the site for this year's state rally of the Gold Wing Road Riders Association. Thousands are expected to attend the rally, which is being held at the Holiday Inn West near the Waccamaw Pottery this weekend.
We are a family of friends that own and love and ride this motorcycle. We assemble for state rallies to get everyone together and have a good time, and we have vendors, we have safety seminars, we have a family type atmosphere, and we want to emphasize the family.
The association was founded almost 20 years ago and has since acquired more than 60,000 members in the United States, Canada, and around the world. Participants at today's opening ceremony say motorcycle enthusiasts have suffered too many negative stereotypes lately, and this year they're out to shatter that reputation.
What we want to do is we want to emphasize to everyone that the Gold Wing Road Riders Association is the marquee motorcycling. Our slogan is Friends for Fun, Safety, and Knowledge, and that's exactly what we go by.
The rally will continue over at Waccamaw Pottery throughout the weekend. Well, if you're looking for a little change of pace and local entertainment this weekend, you may want to pay a visit to the Wheelwright Auditorium over at Coastal Carolina University. A play entitled A Joyful Sound will take place at 4 p.m. on Sunday and offers a wide variety of African-American music, ranging from gospel and jazz to Dixieland music.
It's called A Joyful Sound, and that's exactly what you're going to get. You'll be able to participate in clapping your hands and singing along with some of the old favorite songs like Sitting on the Dock of the Bay with Otis Redding does that. We got Aretha Franklin's Respect and Chain of Fools, quite a number of things.
Rehearsals continue this evening in preparation of A Joyful Sound, and producers of the play say it's a unique experience to bring African-American music to the stage.
We are doing African sounds, calypso sounds, rhythm and blues, jazz, spirituals, gospel music, and all of the familiar songs that those of us who are in the 40s and 50s kind of grew up with. So we are really excited about having people come in and having an enjoyable afternoon on Sunday.
Adamson says tickets to the show can still be purchased at the Wheelwright Auditorium box office the day of the show at 3 p.m. The show begins at 4 p.m. on Sunday. Taking a look at your Grand Strand weather for the early part of this weekend, tonight is expected to be fair with the lows in the lower 50s, and there will be a northeasterly wind breezing through at only about 5 miles per hour, and Saturday should be partly cloudy with the high near the middle 70s. Hopefully a nice weekend for everyone on the Strand. Thanks for tuning in to Headline News Local Edition on Friday. We return on Monday. Good evening.
This has been a presentation of Cox Cable.
Headline News will return in 5 minutes. Now time for Local Edition Headline News.
Headline News takes you around the world with news, business, and sports. Now, Cox Cable brings you home with Headline News Local Edition.
Horry County citizens will soon see more of their elected officials. Good evening and welcome to Headline News Local Edition. I'm Dan Michaels. Richard Green is on assignment. Cox Communications, along with 2 other cable companies, will soon allow their viewers to double their political pleasure regarding county council meetings. The meetings are scheduled twice monthly, and subscribers are currently able to view 2 hours of each session. However, in an effort to better serve the community and involve citizens more with local government, the county and Cox Communications have agreed to extend coverage to 4 hours per meeting beginning this week.
Well, actually, we're doing it for our customers. We approached the county council several years ago and thought it was a service that our customers might enjoy. As you know, we also provide live the city council meetings for the city of Myrtle Beach. So now county residents will be able to see the entire county council meetings.
Cox Communications, which produces the sessions and shares the footage with other local cablevision companies, says the service helps those who cannot physically attend council meetings. Council members agree that this is the perfect way to involve those who otherwise may not have an interest in local politics.
The citizenry is very vast and very diverse, and I believe that they understand the importance of all citizens having the ability to experience what they are doing, to see the areas and the growth that the county is taking, and to see how they are proacting to that growth.
Well, this week is National Arson Awareness Week, and fire departments all across the Strand are out to remind everyone just how serious of a crime arson can be. It is estimated that more than 700 people die in arson fires each year, and that more than 100,000 building fires are purposely set ablaze each year as well. Although the problem isn't as widespread in Myrtle Beach as in larger cities, firemen want to use this week to bring arson into the spotlight as a potential problem.
Well, certainly we don't have the problem that some jurisdictions do. We have a good working relationship with our police department, that they help us in our investigations. We do have a problem. It's not as widespread as in other jurisdictions, though.
Steps to be taken to minimize the chances of arson include keeping combustibles such as leaves and firewood away from buildings, keep all doors and windows locked when a building is unoccupied, and installing burglar and sprinkler systems in dwellings.
We do have still some arson problem in our area, and I think most jurisdictions still do. And if anybody would have any kind of information that would help us in an investigation, we would certainly appreciate that, and there are some rewards to be given for that.
Those wanting to report arson activity in the Myrtle Beach area are asked to call the Myrtle Beach Fire Department at 448-3656. Well, this week is National Arson Awareness Week, but next week is National Tourism Week, and what better city to observe it in than the city of Myrtle Beach? Chamber of Commerce officials say the Grand Strand accounts for almost 40% of South Carolina's total tourism revenue. In 1994, gross retail sales increased in the area by 22%, and the value of new construction along the Strand is estimated at more than $1 billion. Chamber officials expect the trend to continue for years to come.
Year-round tourism is definitely on the rise. We're seeing it increase by about 5.5 million visitors each year. We had about 12 million visitors in 1994, and we expect to see about 12.5 million this year.
With year-round tourism growing stronger and the possible passing of a local option sales tax to help out road improvements, the Chamber of Commerce suggests that the Myrtle Beach area will not stop growing anytime soon.
Well, obviously, roads is a very important issue for the Myrtle Beach area to continue to grow and go with the prosperity that we're leading to. We have to be able to have an open venue to get to the area, so it's a very important issue. Myrtle Beach is becoming more and more of a year-round tourism, not only because of the diversification of entertainment, but the national publicity that's garnered through the Chamber of Commerce, through our advertising efforts as well.
Well, taking a look at your Grand Strand weather this evening, those who noticed the clouds lingering overhead earlier today may want to get used to it over the next day or two. Tonight will be mostly cloudy with a 40% chance of showers and thunderstorms with lows in the lower 60s. Tomorrow is expected to be partly cloudy with a 30% chance of showers, highs near 80, and Wednesday is expected to be sunny. Yes, sunny, with a low around 50 and a high of around 74 degrees. Richard Green returns to Local Edition Headline News tomorrow. Until then, have a good evening.
This has been a presentation of Cox Cable.
Headline News will return in 5 minutes. Now time for Local Edition.
Headline News takes you around the world with news, business, and sports. Now Cox Cable brings you home with Headline News Local Edition.
Boat enthusiasts of Horry County will be happy about new tax legislation in the state. Good evening and welcome to Headline News Local Edition. I'm Dan Michaels. Richard Green is on assignment. State legislators have managed to make tax-paying boat owners happy while managing to save counties around the state a little bit of money. New laws passed by Governor David Beasley will eliminate property taxes for boats, motors, and boat trailers provided the owed amount is $15 or less. This comes after observation that the cost of processing invoices of such amounts surpasses the money that would be gained by collecting the taxes.
When we send out a tax notice for $2.34 or even up to $15, it costs the county to send out the tax notice in clerical work, computer, postage, supplies, and it was not economically feasible to send out notices that's going to cost the taxpayers of this county.
The cut will eliminate more than $87,000 towards schools in Horry County, but supporters say that the benefit to the county taxpayers as a whole will actually outweigh the amount of money not going towards schools from the taxes.
Anytime you're cutting tax revenue for the schools, I think that people would wonder, is that fair or not? But I think when you look at the whole picture and see how much it costs to collect the money versus what the school would get and what the county would get, it makes sense to do away with it.
This weekend marks the end of National Dog Bite Prevention Week, which local veterinarians say brings awareness to a potentially dangerous problem. More than 2 million dog bites are reported each year in the United States alone. The problem is usually associated with postal workers or other home service-related employees who say dog bites are a much bigger problem than most people think. Veterinarians along the Grand Strand say this week should not only focus on dogs who bite, but any animal or pet which could present a hazard to owners or other people.
Now, what is in my mind more important than a dog bite, other than the following it up properly when you're bitten by a dog, is cat bites and scratches, because they seem to have a germ that's either in their mouth or under their claws that is extremely infectious. And
doctors say not only should precautionary measures be observed to avoid being bitten, but also post-cautionary measures of what to do after the bite has already happened should be considered.
Dog bites are supposed to be reported to the county health department, as a matter of fact, so we need to mention that so they can be handled properly with a proper follow-up on who has been vaccinated and who needs to be quarantined in what manner, and who's going to be responsible for it. And
Day 2 of the 28th Annual Myrtle Beach Trade Show wrapped up this afternoon with what organizers call a huge success. The show, which is a project of the National Association of Purchasing Managers for the Carolinas and Virginia, is designed to promote trade and assist business and industry through networking. Last year, more than 25 states and Canada were represented during the show. This year, participants from overseas are making the trip.
Well, they're here to try to build up trade for their country. They have a lot of needs for outsourcing of their country services and products, and they may find some buyers here who want to buy those products, or some people who might want to represent their products. So they're here for that purpose.
Money from the show will go towards educational grants, seminars, and scholarships. Businesses from Italy, Great Britain, and Thailand were on hand and say trade shows such as this benefit everyone involved.
Most of the trade centers, we have a very close relationship, so we share the information together. They also inform us that what is best for you, because I'm new here, I'm just moved here. So the information that we get from them, they share. Yeah.
First of all, it's a drawing card. Myrtle Beach is a drawing card. You can have people to attend a convention, attend various meetings here at the convention center, and at the same time take care of some business and some fun. So it's a good place to come.
The annual trade show will continue through tomorrow evening. Well, taking a look at your weather tonight, this evening is expected to be mostly cloudy with a 30% chance of thunderstorms later tonight. Lows are going to be around 60 degrees with a northeasterly wind of about 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow is also expected to be mostly cloudy with the highs around 80 degrees with a 40% chance of showers. Thanks for watching Local Edition Headline News, and have a great weekend. We return on Monday.